And now we welcome to the studio His Excellency Yacov Livne, Israeli ambassador to Poland. We bring in an international perspective now to that foreign policy speech delivered by Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski. And I'd like to begin by asking you, what were your main takeaways from that speech? And I'd like to especially ask, what were your impressions of the expectations that Poland has in terms of that relationship with Israel?
Well, I think that my main takeaway was watching Mr. Sikorski today in the Sejm, was to see once again how much in common we actually have. We share the same values of democracy, rule of law. We do not like autocratic regimes. We understand what kind of dangers such autocratic regimes pose to us all. We cherish very much our liberties, both on the national and on the personal level. I think all of this brings us together. We also saw, and I think it was very, very clear today, to hear once again how much relationship of Poland are important both with the United States and with Europe. The same is very much true for Israel, which puts us in the same camp, in the same Western camp, which needs to be defended today. I think it's very much clear. It was clear today listening to Mr. Sikorski, and it's extremely clear today when we look at what happens in the Middle East, where Israel is the country which leads in that region the fight of civilization against barbarity. And all of the things that I have mentioned and many more bring us together and should bring us even closer.
Right. The Foreign Minister Sikorski also mentioned Prime Minister Donald Tusk describing the period that we're in as that of a pre-war period, which has, well, people sort of wondering just how dire the current circumstances are. But I'm wondering if Tel Aviv shares the same view and understands the predicament that not only Europe, not only Poland, but also many other countries in Europe are in concerning the war in Ukraine.
Well, when we look at the situation from Israel, from Jerusalem, which is the capital of Israel, we see an international situation that is complicated. We see very significant challenges to world security, also for regional security in various regions. We see this in Europe, we see this in the Middle East. But we also see the chances. We also see various ways in which we can work together to defend ourselves, work together to deter our enemies. Just less than 2 weeks ago, we had a direct attack, missile attack, an unprecedented one, coming from Iran at Israel, and it was rebuffed and stopped, obviously with the abilities that we have in Israel, but also with a very significant coalition that we have created together with the United States, with major European powers. This kind of cooperation is very important. Today also at the speech of Mr. Sikorski, he mentioned missile defense issues. I know they're very important today in Europe. They become more and more important also in Poland. We in Israel have quite a few, I think, interesting capabilities, leading capabilities, also in this respect. And this is another important sphere in which we can and probably should work together.
Certainly.
And in terms of this new government now in power in Poland versus the last 8 years, do you feel that there is going to be a change in terms of that foreign policy in regards to Israel and generally the relationship?
And I'd like to add to that, the bilateral relations. One of the things we saw somewhat of a low point in bilateral relations, if you recall the Holocaust bill that the previous government tried to push through. Are you hopeful or are you confident that this new government won't undertake such measures similar to that?
Well, I think the key to a good relationship, especially between democracies, is dialogue. And also to remember, as I said, in the case of Israel and Poland, to remember the basic things that unite us. We might have some differences. Every two countries have differences. Even in marriage, you have differences. But the key is to solve such differences. We have done this in the past between Jerusalem and Warsaw. I am confident that we can also do this in the future. Our history is complicated. I mean, the history of Israel, of the Jewish people, and the history of Poland. We just heard today also Mr. Sikorski referred to the difficult history of Poland throughout the years, especially during the 20th century. These issues need to be addressed. And I don't see any reason why we cannot solve those issues in a bilateral way, in a positive way that will be truthful to the important thing that actually unites us.
And on the note of solving issues, we just wanted to follow up on the tragic situation of the World Central Kitchen. How do we stand on that investigation? Is the IDF uncovered any further details? Is there any more information?
The investigation is still ongoing. As we have promised to our Polish colleagues, also to Minister Sikorski, all the evidence that we will find, we will share, of course, with our Polish friends. We have shared already the findings that we were able to gather. It was a tremendously tragic event that we apologized for, of course. It's something that should not have happened. We have now a challenge of finishing this war by dismantling the abilities of the Hamas and freeing our hostages. This is what we intend to do, but we also have larger challenges. I've mentioned Iran. Just today, we were happy to see that the European Parliament passed a resolution that calls to have more sanctions against Iran, that calls on putting the Revolutionary Guard, which is the main terrorist organization of this Ayatollah regime in Tehran, to put them on the terrorist list. The European Parliament also calls on the international community to make sure that Iran will not have nuclear weapons. All of these things are part of a security umbrella that we need to create together. Israel, Europe, the United States. At the end of the day, we're all in the same boat.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us, Your Excellency Yacov Livne, Israeli Ambassador to Poland. Thank you for joining us at TV
Thank you.
World.